What is the point, Z, of rote learning something if you're going to forget it? We work on certain skills and method with which the baby will remember things long term. Do you know the 3 tiny states that come in order under Arunachal Pradesh? Think of it, I'll give you a simple hack to remember. Funny story.
0 से 7 years होता है बच्चों का फास्टेस्ट लर्निंग स्टेज. इस एज पे ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट इज वे मोर क्विकर. Whatever you teach them, they instantly grasp. Aaj we'll talk about all of this with a co-founder of Tickle Right and early childhood consultant, Munira Dattani.
If age-wise, you can share with us activities which parents can do at home.
You're raising your baby to be ready for the challenges of the 21st century with AI and so much. How do your kids stand apart?
What are some of the parenting mistakes we are doing that can actually ruin our child's brain? Welcome to the podcast, Munira.
Thank you so much.
Okay, are you ready to dive straight into the conversation?
I'm ready. Let's get started.
I thought brain development happens on its own. So why so much stress on developing the brain of children, especially in those early years, which is 0 to 7?
Okay, so let me tell you something very simple about the brain, Z. Your brain develops throughout its life because you have something called as neuroplasticity, and with that quality you can keep learning new things. But there's something very special about that 0 to 7 age group. We in the educational community call it the accelerated learning stage. That is because the baby's brain is physically growing. There are a lot of neuronal connections being made, and that is the main reason we focus on development of the brain. See, as parents, all of you all are like, I want to do this, I want to do that. We want to give exposure to my baby. But do we think, why do you give that exposure to your baby right now and not probably when they're much older? That is because of your baby's brain. It's literally like a sponge. Whatever you give them right now, they will absorb. And the skills that you're looking to build, they get built very easily within that age group. It could be working on their memory or working on a physical skill or working on any of these cognitive skills. All of those get built very easily from that 0 to 7. And that's why this age is so important to all parents, all educators, to keep doing new things with the kids.
You are the co-founder of Tickle Right, which is a holistic brain development program. What does holistic brain development mean when it comes to children? Because it's still very difficult for me, and I'm sure many parents, to process such a heavy word like brain development with kids of the age of 0 to 7.
No, 100%. And I think this word holistic is now used so openly everywhere. You're like, holistic, holistic, holistic. And you're like, ye kya hai, holistic. Let's put it very simply. When it comes to little children, when we were much younger, from a very young age, everything was about marks, ye learn karo, ye learn karo, ye learn karo. I want to change that narrative for us. Now, when it comes to brain development, we know something. If you want your child to do well long term, you need to focus less right now on IQ, but focus more on EQ. So when I say that I'm looking for holistic brain development, if you ask me in one line, Muni, what do you do at Tickle Right? Tickle Right is a program which focuses on EQ and IQ of the child and develops an innate love for learning in the baby. That is the most important thing. So if you want a holistic child, a holistic baby, raise a holistic baby, that is something you can do, is focus more on the EQ of your child. Can your child regulate their emotions? Can your child express what they want? Can they help and resolve conflicts on their own, so on and so forth. And then everything that you do on the IQ aspect, that adds on to it. So that is the biggest difference. When you have the balance of that EQ and IQ, that's when you know that you're raising a holistic child.
But I totally agree, because my daughter Aliza is 8 years, and so many people ask me that, you are not very, you're okay with her academically doing average. But the overall personality matters to me more.
Yes.
Because I teach her that, it's important to stand up for yourself. It's important to be vocal. It's important to be happy. It's important to know what you want.
Correct.
And if all this is sorted, automatically academics will be sorted. So now I can relate. It's just that maybe I didn't know it's called
Yeah, absolutely.
holistic brain development.
Absolutely. And you know what? More than that, Zara, as you said, you're raising your baby to be ready for the challenges of the 21st century with AI and so much. How do your kids stand apart? Do you ever think that who are these people who later on become successful? Like, what is that grader for success? It is not academic excellence, it is your grit and resilience. How does grit and resilience get developed? When you tell your child it's okay to have an opinion, it's okay to say no, it's okay to stand up for what you believe in, it's okay to cross question things that you don't agree with, right? And when you lead them to that sort of approach, then things get very easy. It's no longer about who gets that 100 marks. Like you could be like 100 on 100 at school, but it doesn't matter if you're not a good communicator, if you can't put your voice across, or you can't tomorrow be a leader in your particular field that you're going to grow up and be in. So if you have that resilience and grit, you're going to work it. And you know what's the most important thing you said? You said, Aliza, it's okay if you don't have the best grades. But what you did is you supported her, okay, you excel in other things, your soft skills. And what you did inevitably, Zara, is you built her self-esteem. So whenever parents ask me that, Muni, what should I do for my child? Should I do this class, this class? Parents are very class focused. So I'm like, do anything you can to improve their self-esteem. And once you worked on that, your kids are going to fly. It doesn't matter what class you do with them. When I say brain development, at the end of the day, as a mom, you want your child to do well academically also. But how you can do that? बहुत conventionally how we do know, Zara, like, oh, take a book, study, wrote, learn, write. Don't do it in that way. Today's kids need a different, more fun approach towards learning. So if you make learning fun for them, your child's going to do math, English, science, whatever you give them tomorrow. It doesn't matter.
Great. So we are having a surface level conversation till now. I want to really dig deep. And you said something about rote learning, etc. How is brain development different from conventional learning?
Okay, so any sort of learning falls within developing your brain only. But understand, when you said that rote learning part, our focus conventionally was only on get that information learned. Okay? But when I talk about brain development is very wide. Let's talk about this rote learning example only. When you look at memory, what is the point Z of like rote learning something if you're going to forget it 10 days later, right? So what you did is, okay, you passed that exam, but you never really retained information. With Tickle Right, when I actually say, hey, let's improve on your memory, we work on certain skills and method with which the baby will remember things long term. I'll give you a simple example. Something difficult, you rote learned, okay? And then you forgot about it. When it comes to something that you want to remember, it's tough, but you want to remember it, how would you do it? I would make a funny story out of it. We have India states. Here is Assam. On top of Assam is Arunachal Pradesh. Do you know the 3 tiny states that come in order under Arunachal Pradesh? Remember, in funny ways, your brain has a very cool hack. The funnier you make your information, the longer it's going to last in your brain. So I'm sure in 5th grade, you learned the states, you rote learn them, and you put it on your map. But now you've forgotten. Think of it, I'll give you a simple hack to remember, funny story. So after Assam, next to Assam, you're like, imagine you're Nanga. So first comes Nagaland. But then you get money. So then Manipur. And after getting money, you become a miser. So Mizoram. And these are the 3 things that sequentially come in order.
Just because you make it funny.
Just because you make it funny.
And you put visuals or, some
a funny
concept to it.
It becomes. That is one of the biggest hacks. If you want to remember a complicated piece of information, A, make it into a story. B, make sure you make it super funny. And you're always going to remember it.
Amazing.
Try it out. In fact, that's what the world champions, the memory champions use along the way. When they need to remember lots of numbers and words and sequentially repeat it, how do they do it? They, as they're telling them, they do something called as memory palace, which, putting it easily, they are making a funny story in their head of those numbers very, very quickly. And that's a skill. You and me cannot just do it randomly if I tell you 500 numbers. But when the kids start at a very young age, their capacity to make these stories, we call it link memory, it's fantastic.
That's fabulous. I'm going to use it with my kids, but I'm going to use it for myself also because I have to learn so many scripts.
100%. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. You can do it. Your kids can do it, but you'll realize that your kids are grasping it much faster.
I'm sure.
Only one reason, because they are in their accelerated learning phase. That's all.
That's 0 to 7 years.
0 to 7.
Okay, let's break this down. We are again and again saying 0 to 7 years.
Call. Yeah.
Can you tell us age-wise how the development is happening? For example, 0 to 2 years ke beech mein this emotion is getting developed or this trait is getting developed. Let's break it down.
Sure. Let's break it down. First, we'll go from this 0 to 2.5. When the babies are very young, initially when 0 to 3 months, all their systems are developing. So their eyesight is not the best. That's why we do the black and white flashcards. They're still hearing. But that's a great time. If anybody's watching and their babies are very young, say 0 to 6 months, all you want to do is talk to them a lot, sing to them a lot of touch, and probably show them a few visuals around in their week time. When it comes to that 6 months to 2.5, Heather's in that stage. These kids, now two things are happening. Their senses are all integrated. So they need a lot of stimuli for all their senses. Things they can hear, touch, feel, put it in their mouth. That's why babies in their age, parents are like, my kid always wants to put things in the mouth. And I'm like, well, because that's how they learn. Okay, they are oral seeking, they learn like that. So the main thing that develops within these kids is they get body awareness. They learn through their senses. They're also now starting to physically walk, and also that curiosity of touching, pulling, throwing, everything comes in. As your kids go from the 3.5, 4 years of age, their talking, the language skills are really heightening. So it's a very good time to read multiple books, do a lot of vocab building things, sing to your child, explore new activities. Their grips are getting better. So you start giving them the pens and crayons to work on more. So you start doing those things. When it comes to children over 4, see, all these kids under 4, 4.5 are very creative. Any creative thing you do with them, it's going to work. When your kids are getting older, say for example, now they're 4.5, 5, they're asking a lot of questions. Means along with their very creative brain, now even the rational parts of their brain are, improving and they're getting there. So now you do activities which take rationalization. Playing math puzzles, building new things, playing quizzes with them, asking for a problem to a solution and they're giving you a rational solution. Those are the kind of things even Aliza would really enjoy now. So that really is the biggest difference. When the kids get older, their rationalizing abilities also start to peak, and you should focus on both. It shouldn't be like you're not working on that. But one thing that really works from 6 months up till 7, 8 years of age is curiosity. All children are naturally curious. And Zahra, I've met thousands of children in the past 10 years. Somebody doesn't like math, somebody doesn't like English. Never met a child who doesn't like experiments. So at the base of everything, if you have to ask me, Muni, what is something that's common throughout? Is curiosity. Keep experimenting with your kids. And you'll see like, oh my God, my child just enjoys learning. Because isn't that what all parents want at the end of the day? That all the learning experiences of my child have to really have these happy memories associated.
Wow.
Isn't it? So that would be the biggest difference. If your kid is 0 to 2, focus a lot on music, talking, touch, feel. That 2 to 4, focus on a lot of activities, multi-sensorial learning, give them new experiences. They learn a lot through experiences as well. And as they start to get older, work on logical abilities as well as the other creative abilities. But for throughout everybody, always do your experiments.
That's fabulously put. Makes it very simple for us how to go stage by stage. Now I'm going to act a bit greedy.
Not at all, please.
And ask you to further, dissect this and simplify it for us. On your page, I've seen amazing activities. I especially remember this cupcake activity where you had colored a cupcake, put it in a plastic bag, and then when you put that inside water,
Cupcake loses color.
And I was so fascinated by it. So like I said, I am going to act greedy and ask you if age wise you can share with us activities which parents can do at home.
100%. So as I said, that first when it gets started, whatever age group your baby is, I want you to experiment with your child. If your child is so we'll start with experiments and then move forward. So Muni, what experiments to do? If my child is very, very young, say around 2.5 or under, you are going to do basic vinegar and baking soda experiment. You just mix, there are bubbles, they love it. Or you do any color mixing experiment. Young kids love brighter visuals. So do any experiment. Simple color mixing, you mix yellow and red, you get orange, is also working. You mix vinegar bubbles with baking soda, oh, everything's bubble, they love it too. Don't have anything, just blow bubbles, they're popping, that is also an experiment. If your kids are between 2.5 to 4 age group, they love musical elements. Just make a simple water xylophone. You get 6 glasses, fill 1 glass completely, then keep reducing the amount of water. Fill it up with a different color. So you have a rainbow colored water, one which has more water and little water. And then you just play with a spoon. You've made a jal tarang or your xylophone. When it comes to the older children, I've seen it out of experience. They love any fire sort of experiment. Of course, please be safe. Do it with your parents. When I'm saying this, don't come at me. This is all under supervision. Any fire experiment that you can do with your child, like take a candle, cover it with glass, the fire goes out because there's no oxygen. Any of these kind of experiments, the kids love it. Okay? So this takes care of experiments. Then when it comes to other sort of activities, when your kids are very young, I want to do, you should do musical activities which uses all parts of their body. So if my kids are very young, how do I relate with them? Always adding little jingles to their class. Giving you an example, if you say zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. If you want to take a trip, get aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. And then I tickle my children. What you have essentially done is, you've used their body, you've given a beat and rhythm, you've done these actions, and then you've tickled them to bond with them. Little children need bonding. So that is something I would do. If my kids are a little older, then what do? Quintessential, some worksheet based activity. Between that 2 to 4, they love solving worksheets. The only drawback over here is when parents think worksheets, they just look at those black and white worksheets, which is very boring for the children. Okay, so try looking for colorful aids. They could be simple aids, but look for colorful fun things, because kids between that 2 to 4 want max fun. And the easiest way to do it is find some colorful worksheets that you can do with them. When it comes to your older children, finally 4+, you're with Aliza. She's a curious cat, okay? Play quizzes with her. Just do quizzing. Say, Aliza, today I'll ask you a question. She'll be like, and maybe she doesn't know the answer, and then she'll keep thinking you'll tell her. Next time, she will make sure she finds a question that you don't know the answer for. What you have done with that is, you have made it a unit of inquiry-based learning, where she's like, let me find out something about this, and let me go home and quiz Ma again. So that leads them to naturally thinking better things. And the kids will shock you. I ask questions to them. Some they know, some they don't know. But next time they'll come back and they're like, Muni, let me ask you a question. I'm sure you don't know about this. So it really works. If you want to do activities, just play quizzes. These are very low prep things that you can do with them, right? Anywhere, you're in the car, you look at the cars, say, can you guess what car that is? What company? Oh, so my certain kids at car logos, fantastic. My boys, any car you tell them, they're like, that's a Lamborghini. This one's an Aston Martin. Oh, this one's a Toyota. They just know.
Other thing which I wanted to ask you when I was researching about Tickle Right, you insist on a parent-child class initially.
Yes.
Why
Yes.
is that?
Yes. Zara, not only initially, I recommend it for whatever age group your child is if you're coming to Tickle Right. As long as the parent or some family member can be a part of class, it's fantastic. It's very unconventional, I know, because most classes will tell you, bhai, please, tum mat aana. When you come, your child does not want to do anything, just wants to stick around to you. I have a very different approach to look at this, and I stand by this very firmly. Understand, any class that your baby goes to is generally 1 hour a week or 2 hours. That's about it. You are your baby's primary and the best teacher out there. Nobody can beat a mother or a father as an educator to whatever you are teaching your child. You are also your child's first role model. Okay? So having you in a class, my class is not just a class, oh, you did something, you made something and you go home. My class is a long-term skill building program. And one of the most important things we also want to work on is the parent-child bond. It's a great time for constructively for the baby and the child to bond as well. It's not only about the teacher and the baby. you bond with the parent. Also, one phenomenal thing happens when the parents come to class. They learn so much about their own child and the potential of their own child. One thing all parents tell me, मेरे बच्चे कितने छोटे हैं, क्या ही करेंगे, कितना हो जाएगा. When they come to class, first 3 months they are sold. They're like, Muni, amazing, this is amazing, my child can do this, I will go home and follow up. So it's so much of a learning, not only for the baby, also as the parents. Because even we didn't know of the true potential of the baby. So when they see what the kids are actually capable of, they can take this so much forward. When we do art appreciation, Zahra, we show a couple of paintings to the kids. We talk about artists, and parents are like, "Arey, how this is going to happen?" I'm giving you a real life example. They're like, Muni, we went to Paris and we went to the Louvre, and my child's shouting from one corner, Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa. And the child ran and she was so excited to be at a museum where they didn't expect the baby to enjoy the museum at all. And that's when that thing happened, that I'm so glad we came to class and we realized that my child is really inclined towards the arts. So things like that, it's great. I highly recommend you're bonding with your baby, you're learning new things, and that whole experience is so enjoyable because you're really going to see your child in that element.
But don't you think, Munira, this can get very overwhelming for parents, whether good or bad?
Yeah.
We are living in a very fast-paced life.
Yes.
Parents are super busy.
Yes,
And this can, like I said, get overwhelming because
I understand.
अभी ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट के लिए ये एक्टिविटी भी करना है, ये क्लास भी भेजना है, अगर क्लास नहीं भेज रहे तो ऑनलाइन करो, ऑनलाइन अगर नहीं करना है तो खुद घर पे करो. Let's just simplify it for parents.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm saying this as a parent.
Yeah, 100%.
What are the few simple things one can concentrate on for brain development?
Okay. See, first, when it comes to class also, a lot of my parents are working parents just like yourself, and it's very difficult for them to come. First thing, when it comes to class, even if you can come once every few classes, enough. Drop by so you know what is happening. Assume ke Muni, I cannot do anything, I cannot go for any class. What can I do at home? There are a few simple fundamentals to brain development. If you do that with your child, you are doing more than most people. First, let's come to understanding quality over quantity. Quality time is more important than quantitative time. If you're going to spend 1 hour, but do it very, very well. Reading every single day to your child. It could be anything. It could be as little as 5 minutes. It could be as much as 1 hour. I don't know your time capacities. Read. You'll read every day to your baby. Secondly, babies are very musically inclined. Play some music for them. If you're a singer, great, sing for your baby. If somebody plays an instrument, play an instrument. Muni, we don't do anything. Put up that Alexa. Dance and shimmy with your baby. That is fantastic. Third, parents underestimate the value of doing masti with their kids. Okay, a lot of time moms will be like, my husband just keeps doing dilly dala tappa tippi with my kids and I don't know what to do. Do you know that is fantastic for your baby's brain development? When you can actually just have fun with them. Just be silly. Rough play that the fathers do. It's fantastic for their brain. That is one very cool thing. Apart from that, after that you've done, don't make things very activity focused. Make it more experiential focused. See, they go to school, they go to classes, they're getting enough activities. Is there an experience you can give your child? Just a simple visit to the market every day or simple visit to the mandir every day. Make it a ritual. When you have rituals with your kids, that really forms these extremely core happy memories and values with them. That is very important.
But there is a flip side to this as well.
Yeah.
Where I said, one thing is parents can get overwhelmed. The other thing is, if we give some information to parents, we go berserk.
Yeah.
कि अच्छा मुझे ये भी करना है, अभी मेरे को मेरे बच्चे के साथ ये भी सिखाना चाहिए, ये क्लास में भी डालना चाहिए. So the flip side is there something called as overstimulating, like doing too much with your child?
100%. I want all parents to repeat this every day. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. If A is doing this class, doesn't mean B have to do this. And that's when it gets overwhelming. See, kids naturally love learning, okay? So they will do 100 things also. That's why if you push them for so many classes also, most of the times they comply and go. But do you understand? It becomes so overwhelming for the parents. It's like that stress is always there. And inevitably, if you are in that state of stress, Z as a parent, you are trickling down on your child. Less is more. I'm always telling parents, don't look at somebody and do a program. How will you select how to do programs? There are a couple of things you should look, and then you're doing more than enough. One activity for physical excellence of your baby. It could be a sport, it could be a gymnastic class, it could be anything, one physical activity. Second, do something for brain development. Somebody's doing Tickle Right, somebody's doing chess, somebody's going just for like brain games. Okay, you've taken care of something for the brain. Third, look at something as a creative outlet for your child, which your child loves. For some children, it could be a singing class. For some children, it could be a Lego class. For some children, it could be a crafty class. It's different for every child. A creative aspect for each child is different. Look what is that creative aspect. If you're doing these three, along with your regular schooling, and you're spending time at home, you're done.
This gets me to two thoughts which I'm having. I'm going to address them one by
Sure.
one. The first is, now that we are on a topic of overstimulating,
Yeah.
what are some of the parenting mistakes we are doing that can actually ruin our child's brain?
Okay, so I don't want to put it as harsh as you can ruin your child's brain, because I know that most parents really come from a place of love and we want to do it best. But the first thing parents do is overdoing. I want less is more. Mantra has to be less is more. And I know everybody's worried that their child is going to lag behind. But one thing we need to focus on is not try to do everything. Because when you try to do everything, you're not doing anything properly. Second thing, the parents always come from that scarcity mentality, which I see more. What do I mean by that? They be like, Muni, my child's not very good at math. I'm going to do a lot of math classes. Or my child's not picking up reading. Yeah, I'll put 10 reading classes. Look at it this way, Z. Something that my 5 fingers are not the same. My 5 kids are not going to be good at the same things. If your child is really good at art, it makes a lot of sense for you to do a lot of art related things and not focus too much on that math, which is not very good. Because guess what? If you do 10 math classes, from that okay, your child will become above okay, above average, but never the best. But imagine if you put that same amount of energy in arts, which the child is really good at, he could be tomorrow's Picasso, right? So I want you to look at that mentality, that don't look at always things are lacking and trying to improve on them. Work on things that they're really good at. So flip that approach and work on those things they're really good at. Push them to their very best. That is one very important thing. Third is limiting beliefs. And I get it where it comes from. Because conventionally, we all learned, like little children will do easier things, and as we get older, we learn harder things. Research of the past 50 years has shown that little children have the most amount of capability simply because of the way their brain is built. I don't want you to undermine the capacity of your child even before they have tried something, right? So that is one thing I want to change, that don't let your preconceived notions stop the progress of your child. At least let them try, even though they're young. Don't have expectations. Don't do it because I'm looking to. Sometimes it can feel very performative for parents that I did this, oh, what are you doing? Don't do it from a place of that. Just do it. Let me explore what the natural capabilities of my child are. If you do that, you've hit the jackpot. That's what we call unlocking your child's potential, you know?
According to me, I feel the mistake which we parents do, it's on the similar line.
Yeah.
It's just keeping them busy because we don't have the time.
Less is more.
So we do not want to feel guilty.
Yeah.
तो classes में डाल दो, at least busy रहेंगे, उनको
Correct.
पता नहीं चलेगा मम्मी घर पे नहीं है या you know mom or dad don't have time. So I guess that's somewhere, I don't know why that thought process has come, and in that whole thing we have forgotten the importance of free play, unstructured play. So this is my second part of the question. Is free play or unstructured play important for brain development?
It is extremely important. It's like among one of the top their list. As you said that we constantly want to do something with our kids, it's good to do things with the kids, you know. When it comes to babies, they need structured play, they need unstructured play, and they need no play at all also. I'll come to that. So you've taken care with classes with your structured thing. Unstructured play is great when you do open-ended things with their child because you've left them as it is and you're not showing or guiding them what to do. They are doing things their own way. It leads to building of so many skills: problem solving, creativity, focus and concentration expands when you let them do their free play. It could be only coloring and painting, it could be building things, it could be pretend play, show and tell. All of these are fantastic. Apart from that, tomorrow if you don't give anything, baby's just sitting and goes like, I'm bored. So you'll be like, अरे अभी इसको क्या दूँ मैं यार, like क्या देना है? And we are again back on that pedestal. What can I give my child next? At that point, sit back and say like, okay, I'm sorry, you're bored, be bored. Just be bored. Being bored is also fantastic for your brain. Did you know that? It's fantastic because imagine if your child's just looking at a wall and can start visualizing something then by just looking at a wall. That's how the Cartesian plane, when we have a graph, that's how the graph came into existence. This is one man, he's looking up at the wall and he's looking at the cracks and he's like, if I want to reach here, how will I do it? The Cartesian plane was made because somebody was looking up at the wall. So being bored is good for your baby's brain. You don't need to keep doing things for the baby because guess what? Structure, unstructure, not doing anything at all form a part of holistic brain development.
But it's easier said than done. Like
Sure.
if I tell my child today, be bored, he or she is going to listen for like precisely 30 seconds and again come and tell me,
I understand.
I am bored. So then what are we supposed to do?
I completely understand because see, we are living in a world where we are constantly looking for some sort of stimuli. So to sit back and be like, okay, we don't get anything is so difficult for us. Of course, it's difficult for the kids, but slow and steady. You'll be like, sorry, beta, you're bored, but you need to find something you can do on your own. You keep tracking, you just stay put, don't get overwhelmed, and just keep telling your child. First, they'll get very frustrated. It is frustrating. But as time passes, they will get it. Slower levels of being bored. First 10 minutes, don't do anything. Oh, now 10 minutes, my child is able to do it. Now build that. Now 15 minutes, try seeing if you can just be by yourself, do whatever. We have a plant, you have some pebbles there, do whatever you want, sit by the plant, smell the plant, chew the plant, I don't know. But give them that time. And as you slowly and steadily build it, Zara, it's going to happen. And when that actually starts happening, your kids also become more mindful. That's one of the first steps towards integrating mindfulness in your children as well, is let them just be bored.
Till now, we have spoken about younger kids,
Yes.
which is 0 to 7.
Sure.
Let's go to a bit older side. This is for parents who are listening and are feeling, oh my God, I have missed the
Yeah.
early years. What would you tell them? Are they late, or brain development can be supported at a later stage as well?
People who start Tickle Right at 3 also will be like, but now you start at 6 months, so are we late? So I get it. That fear is very real. And I want to tell all parents, it's never too late. Your brain is magical. Because of neuroplasticity is that ability where your neurons keep forming new connections, and that's how you learn things. That's how you and me can learn new things. People at 80 can also learn. It's harder. Same for your children who are over 8 years and you feel you've missed it. You follow the same principles. As I give you a simple example, make them learn through storytelling. You find unique ways of learning that actually work for your child. Every child has a unique learning style. Some child is a visual learner. Some kids are auditory learners. Some kids are kinesthetic learner. They learn through movement, my boys. Some kids are gustatory learners. Heather likes to touch everything, feel, put in his mouth. That's how they learn. Find out what is that learning style of your child and build on activities on that. If your child likes everything through music, try making as many activities as you can through music. I'm a very musical baby. So I like to learn through songs. I can learn information very quickly. Find what works for your child. If your child's a very visual child, books, pictures, imaginative things, that will work more. Having said that, even for older kids, as they're getting older, I think we all miss that one thing is really focusing on their emotional intelligence. Can your child communicate? Can your child regulate their emotions? How does your child resolve conflict? Those things are very important. If you can sit, have these conversations with the baby, and if they've seen adults in their life, because at this age now the kids are learning a lot from looking at their environment. So it's upon us as to how we are behaving at home as well. That's why we say the environment for kids is so important. So when they see that the parents are having this sort of relationship and that's how they resolve conflict, it really leaves lasting impressions on these children. So that is something you can work on. And apart from that, I think just letting even like your teenagers explore new things. Parents have this, oh my God, it's too late, it's too late. It's never too late, they're all babies. Let them explore new things, they will find their way. See to it that you're supporting their emotions behind it all. Everything else will take care of itself.
So, what I can take back from this conversation is more than anything, communication is very important with older kids.
Most certainly, very, very important, and to make them feel that it's a safe place as well. See, we live in a scary world. A lot of things keep happening. But if you've made your child understand that you are always going to be the safe space, whatever may happen in life, something really switches. And your child is always going to have that honesty. Whether they do something good or bad, they always know somebody's waiting back for them at home. And that really gives them the confidence to go even explore new things. Sometimes a lot of girls generally are not risk takers because always worry, oh, what if I fail? Or, you know what, who's going to... But if you are going to be like, I'll always be there for you. I just want you to know this. It works fantastically well. That sort of communication is very impactful, especially when it comes to your teenagers.
How can we explain parents that other than play school, education programs like Tickle Right are also very important?
It's not so simple. If I had to tell a parent, it's very dependent to each parent as well. If you're a parent who has enough time, you're a complete stay-at-home parent and you're already in the field of education, you have a lot of knowledge by yourself, you go ahead and do as much as you can. Okay? So then you don't need any extracurriculars because you got this. You can do it by yourself. But for majority of the parents who have a lot of work, other responsibilities, they don't know what to do within so many of the hours after school. So that's why we urge parents, do things, programs. Why do programs? Not because programs are great. Of course, a Tickle Right, my baby, I could say, oh, it's the best program out there. But not because of that. Because your window from 0 to 7 is so unique that even if you wanted to do later on, it wouldn't have as impactful, what would I say? The effects would not be as impactful as it would be in those 0 to 7. You have more time on hand with your child because your baby has lesser hours of school and lot of free time. So you could do a lot of creative things, especially because we live in Bombay. The kind of things people are doing with kids are fantastic. We have the availability and the privilege to let our kids explore these. Especially as parents, we may not know how to do it ourselves, but we have the availability to go and explore these things, and that's why you should do it. That's why it is important, because your kids are in that extremely accelerated phase. So do it so you're working on their brain development. Do it so you can give them a wide base of exposure. And then if you always feel that, this is not working for my child, you can pull out. But do explore in the meanwhile. Don't just say it like, oh, you know what, why should my child do this? Because you'll realize that the capacity of your child is so much more than you can ever imagine.
Also, I guess we are preparing the children for the new world.
Yeah.
पहले जैसे हमारी मदर्स बोलते हम तो इतना नहीं करते थे, तुम क्यों करते हो? एंड आई एम लाइक, सी मम्मी, वो टाइम पे these classes were not available. The world was very different. Right now we have to sort of at least expose our kids to what is available and then give them a choice whether they want to go ahead with it or no. But as parents, वो हमारी responsibility है कि give them that platter of things available.
Yes.
So that they are confident to go out there in the world and take care of themselves.
Correct. So every generation feels like हमने तो ये हमारे ज़माने में नहीं किया था, क्यों करना है? We have to understand that the world is constantly evolving, and with every decade, it's evolving faster and faster and faster. So it's not about doing a class. It's about the readiness that your child is going to have to deal with the problems and come up with the solutions of their age. Can they do that? And for that, every time is going to be different. From Stone Age, that time they needed to hunt. But then came a little better world. Then they didn't need it. Then came the textile world. Then came the green revolution. So we had to keep up with the times. The same way with this. It's not about हमने हमारे ज़माने में नहीं किया था. It's fine. You do whatever it takes to keep up with the times and get your child ready for what they are going to face 20 years from now. And if you're taking care of that, it's fantastic.
I couldn't agree more. Let's just say baby steps in the right direction.
Baby steps in the right direction. I feel a lot of times parents feel like I'll just do this class and I'll do these big actions and that's going to take care of my child. But we forget the power of compounding the little small steps that you take every day. Parents tell me all the time, Tickle Right, miss, workshop kar lo na. 6 months you finish all our 2-year ka classes. Do it every day. But I'm like, brain development doesn't work like that. It's just slow and steady effort spanned out over time rather than just trying to cram everything together at one go.
Munira, I've loved our conversation, and this conversation about brain development is very, very fascinating. I guess we can go on.
On and on, yes.
It's an infinite topic, but good things have to come to an end. And so this podcast is wrapping up. Thank you so much for taking out time and explaining us this whole concept about brain development.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.